G'day everyone, welcome along, welcome to Steel Horse Station. I hope you're all doing well. And I can see John and Bruce with me bright and early, which is great to see. There might be someone else hiding in the background, which is also good to see. And with any luck, you should have game audio. Whoops, missed him. You should have game audio and that'd be Mark. Welcome along, Mark. Game audio and my dulcet tones. And as you can see, we are just... Sounds good to you. There we go. That's a good start. And this weeder is picky about the line, so, or to hoe actually. No, doesn't want to get that one. Oh, the dog wants to go outside. Why does he always do that just as I start? Excuse me 1 minute, everybody. He's quite happily sound asleep up with Mrs. Steele and lets me clatter around for half an hour before I actually start. There we go. That sort of... They're not intuitively lined up on the rows. I kind of liked the look of this just for the realism of... No, is the answer. He does not. What he understands is that it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and even though, and at this time of the year, I can't open the back door at 7 o'clock in the morning, so he needs. He did to an extent. He didn't bark at me. He just sat on the mat at the entrance to the room and. Which is his way of saying, come on, it's time for me to go out and check that the neighbourhood hasn't changed, that the fences are intact, and water a piece of garden of my choosing. Alright, now I'm going to miss that one again. Yes, there we go. Kind of piece of equipment feels like it should have two more cutter rows, one on each end where the bar extends out and we don't actually get anything. Now I did remember to download that shovel leveler, Mark, so we need to make something for the cows, so we'll do that. I got sort of part way through it yesterday when I was just reminding myself where we were up to on here. So we can make a mix for the cows shortly. Oh no, for all his anxiety and traits, he is very good like that. He's got a bunch of sort of interesting semi-human habits. He's like a serious creature of habit to the point where I usually have a cup of coffee with oh, that explains why some of the weeders have that seeding function in them. I did wonder what the purpose of that was. So it gives them a cover crop to stop the erosion as well, I would guess. And keep the moisture in the soil. Let's see if he can drive that line himself. And I'll just go and fix the dog. We just missed a couple at the end there. Okay, let's take you off. Yeah, as I was saying, Tito's not a door scratcher or a chewer, which is nice. But he is a creature of habit. Typically, when we're both home in the morning, my wife and I'll have a tea or a coffee for morning tea. And it's usually around about 10:30. Not that there's a religious time to it, it's just kind of when that works out. And if it gets to 10:45 and I haven't turned on the coffee machine and I'm sitting here usually fiddling with something, he'll come and nudge my mouse hand with his nose until I get up and go and put the kettle on. It's quite interesting. The same happens at night. If I'm sitting here at 10 o'clock at night, you can pretty much guarantee within 5 minutes each way, he'll come and give me a clear signal that I'm supposed to be going to bed. It's quite bizarre. Big patch of weeds there. He may like the smell of coffee, yes. Although now he's been outside, he couldn't be less interested. Scott, free for all, great to have you in. I hope you're well, sir. It's been a little while since our paths crossed. I think everyone that's in the chat would know Scott, but if you don't, have a quick look at his channel. Scott Free For All is another content creator. He's based in Texas. I noticed the other day he's doing a little bit on the new Texas map that's out recently. I hope you've been well, Scott. Is your little part-time job keeping you busier than you expected? Is that the reason we haven't seen you quite as much? Nope, I've obviously missed something. Did you make the magic 1,000, Scott? If so, I add my congratulations to Mark's. Hey, Jason. Yeah, I saw that, Mark, except that it doesn't say that on my... It's kind of interesting that only panel I get that gives me any information on that sort of stuff still says I need 1,000 for the next change in YouTube status. Oh well, 500s would be good. Still got a ways to go. Mention along. What I'm really pleased about is the view hours, to be honest. The fact, to me, that's a much more interesting to me metric of that people like the content. So the fact that I expected that one to be much harder to, that measure to be much harder to get, and it turned out to be completely the opposite. So I got the hurdle for 4,000 hours a month or so ago, and have sort of blasted past it quite nicely. So I'm pleased about that. And maybe one day, if I have enough ideas, we'll get to 500. We'll see. Things will take a little bit of a pause in a month or two because I've got a trip planned, so that'll slow everything down, but that's a good chance to recharge the batteries like you did. So for anyone that it's been a while since you've seen us, we obviously here on Newlands. Now we own that land out in front of us. That's where we've got our cereal crops, which we'll take up to the grain mill to make grain grist as soon as we can. We have Maize Plus here. This is fairly obviously the cornfields, which we make maize grist with. We've got a fairly sizable pig operation with the meatworks that needs constant attention because the pigs eat us out of house and home, but it's going well, and we're just sort of at the tipping point financially where we're kind of getting by. We planted some olives this year, which we're hoping to make a bit of money with, and in fact a bit later on today we'll have a look at a couple of bits of equipment. I'm not quite sure that olives work properly with precision farming, but we'll run through the process with them anyway. We might actually lease a smaller Voltra, give us something to work the vines with, because I think our portrait tractor might be a little bit wide and potentially anti-mobile to get through the orchard. Oh, anti-maneuverable, I think, would be a good description. Get that row over there. If I don't need GPS, I've decided to do this tool. As we upgrade the farm. Ah, cool. Yeah, I haven't looked at that one yet. I've been busy. I saw you doing the BGA challenge on the Valley of the Old Farm, and I've got my own challenge running on there. I've been a bit delinquent the last 10 days while I've had family visiting. But I need to get back to Gilles and his mum Madeline and bump them along a little bit. I like it when the map makers extend the palettes that they use. I think it really adds. It's an area where I just didn't understand why Giants with Silverrun put such a limited landscaping palette into the map, because whether it was the crop textures or it just didn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me when you can't make your farm look as attractive as it could. Helps the whole immersion piece, I think. We're getting through this corn. So when I was setting up yesterday, I moved a trailer full of sheep across. I noticed our sheep had given birth and overpopulated the sheep pen again, which was it created a nice problem to have, but they're breeding a little bit faster than the capacity I wanted, so we've still got another load of those we need to take across and check out Scooter's Meatworks. So how big a spread have you got there in Texas, Scott? I haven't caught up with the content of that series. And are you doing cattle as well as crops, or just cropping? Oh no, that's no good. Gotta take care of that back, man. And it's a kind of extreme way to get some time to play farm sim, if I may say. Crooked lines. This is why no reputable farmer would let me anywhere near his field. My ability to drive in a straight line is limited. Yeah, my first few steps resemble that every morning, John. Yeah, cattle and grass work. You got one of those big new sheds that Legacy put on. Holds 1,000 head. I'm looking at adding one of them to Griffin, Indiana. We're not quite at 1,000 head, but we're up over 300. We're at 300. My cattle on Griffin are all grass-fed. Right. Ah, cool. I will have to pop in and have a look. I think my biggest challenge with Legacy's pen is finding somewhere to put it. It's a big building. I use some of the fencing and bits from Schultz's pack, but I don't use the lots themselves. Oop. Let's get in the correct row. That's better. We might duck across and see if this leveler function on the shovel solves for that little issue we were experiencing, as I'm hoping that it will. And we'll go across the slope on the end here, because otherwise we'll get wheels slip. I saw we had a, just quickly as I started up today, we had a bit of a drop of mods. Well, we've been here a while. Wait till you see the yards. We'll duck back over there in just a second. But yes, it's coming along. We've actually been on here a little while. Can you get up there without spinning your wheels too much? There we go. Let's just stop you there for a minute. You're full. You can head across to sell when you get a chance. Gonna need you. And we're gonna want to find the trigger somewhere around here. Let's turn it on. Oh, storage dialogues. There it is. We want... We've only got one hay whale in there. Okay. Need some hay. We probably... Have we got any straw left? I don't think we do. Oh, we've got full hay bales. Okay. Let's grab one of those. Yeah. As well. Doesn't look like there's any straw. You down there, take you off there for the minute. Let's see. I've got a couple of partial bales. Find our way through there. Parking space happened to be in the middle of the yard. Rightio. Now let's see, what have we got in there? It's not going to give me that. I think I've got to be connected to it to read that. Recipe. How much have I already put in? I think I've got to do another scoop of maize. Why not displaying the recipe? There it is. Right. So let's, what have we got in there? We have 4,000 litres of grass, 4,000 litres of maize. Okay. So we do want some hay. So let's use that hay bale we got sitting there. I'll get off. If I wanted to hook it like that, I wouldn't have had a chance. It's about where we want hay, is it? A little, what have we got in there? Total 9.5, a little bit more. That'll do that one. We want some straw. And we'll whack some molasses in there first. Sweeten it up for them. Right, that should be good. There we go, with straw 4%. That should be 12%. We're almost at max. Now we're at max. Good. I must reduce the weight on the back of this. It's actually excessively heavy. Yeah. Let's see if we can get this in the correct spot. It's just that lump in the entrance, the little ramp, just makes this a little bit fiddly. Come on, bit of momentum. Gotcha. That should be fixing the, they'd only just, whoops, wrong ones. Let's look at the cows. They'd only just run out, 99%. So they're in reasonable shape. They will need some straw as soon as we do the harvest. Right, so let's do another one of those. Let's see how this activate lever. So if I activate it, that should stop. The behavior, I assume. And that was promising. No worries, John. Good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll go over to the bunker silo in a minute, because that's where we'll be able to demonstrate whether this is doing exactly what we hope it would. The fact that I got exactly 2,000 on that pickup suggests that it was. And that one. Good to know I'm a sleep tonic for you, John, anyway. Alright, so let's go and get some maize plus. Some maize plus. Some maize silage. We have plenty. That one's outside the bunker as well. Yep, so it didn't overfill it. Looks like it's working. Oh no, is it? It's not. It's overfilled it again. I spoke too soon. So it'll dump as soon as it gets out. There it is. And there wasn't 2,000 in the bucket. That was the problem. So just to make sure I haven't got that function set the wrong way, on the next shovel load we'll do it the other way around, just in case I needed to deactivate the leveler to get it to behave properly, because that's the symptom I'm trying to get rid of. Let's deactivate it. This is going to be a little bit fiddly because I've now got a big pile right in that doorway. Let's see how we go. It's interesting that it so that it allowed it to put just over 2,000 in, but it didn't put any more than that, and so as a consequence it wasn't too heavy. So I wonder if that is making it work properly. We need to do another one. Possibly. Have I got enough room in the... Yeah, that seems to logically follow. I guess it's the level of function that's causing it to drag more volume with it. Might just mean that the sense of it is the right way round in the English to German translation, perhaps. Well, I don't want to put straw in because it's too easy to make a mistake. I've done that before and end up with too much straw. And then I end up having to pour it on the ground to sort my mix out. 1,000. I'll probably put all of that guy in, I think. Okay. Use the spikes to pick up the... Need some more molasses as well. But to do some front loader work, I'm thinking that leveler switch is definitely a good mod to have on. I like that. Thank you for that one, Mark. You're full? Good. Rightio. So... pop that one in. Hit the button. Turn the corner. That's a little bit more centered. Just push it up that ramp. Now, how are they doing? Okay, that's going to take them up nicely. We don't need to empty the milk today or the slurry. Now, let's have a look at our fields. I'm pretty sure they're not ready for... So it looks like the oats and the barley will be ready first. The barley should be ready as soon as we roll a month over. I reckon what we do, let's have a look in the shop. I put some equipment in. Doesn't have its own grape category. Grape tech. What's in grape tech? So we've got a few bits of gear. I haven't tried this ferrin stuff. But I'm inclined to give this guy a go. At 10 grand, he's not going to be very expensive to lease. 1.3 meters, that's better. 2 meters, I reckon it'd be more useful. 2.4 meters would be perfect. I assume there's nothing wider. No. Let's go with 2.4 meters and lease one of those. $700, can't go wrong. Let's grab one of them. We're just experimenting. And is that a mulcher? He's only a 1.8. He's not wide enough. If there's not one there, let's go into here and grab the Seppi. At 2.8. That'll do. Let's lease one of those. Now, tractors wise, I'm assuming it hasn't been kind to us and given us something to... That Vulture is a bit big. Interesting. Wouldn't mind some of this gear. It's a bit out of our price range at the minute. Tractors. Now, the tractor I quite like for working in closed spaces and orchards is this G series. How much does it cost to lease one of these? We'll set up front loader attacher we don't need. We don't need GPS. We're just gonna, I don't like that color. Let's go back with that one. It's not necessarily a million miles better, but grey wheels work better. What do you cost? $5,000. That's more affordable. Okay. And you're off. Just got to remember to return the tractor when we're done. Which way on do you go? That way. Nice to have some bright shiny kit on the farm. Let's head across and just see if this... I've got a sneaking suspicion that the interaction with precision farming means that this won't do much, but I thought it was worth a try. And at least it feels like we're doing the right thing with our newly planted olive groves, even if it doesn't actually make any difference. Still got a bit of work to do with those weeds there. Whoops, there's lots of trees down here. Forgot about that. Got a little bit of timber to clean up when we get a bit of time. Let's see what we've got over here. No worries, Mark. Have a good one. Thanks for dropping in. We'll see you next time. So let's see how this comes out. I've managed to buy the one that's too wide for my olives. How interesting. I'm sure I've used that before. That looks like the spacing is wrong. These are narrower than I remember. Has the game changed the spacing? Because I've definitely used this Seppi base in the past. Geez, that's tighter than I remember. Well, let's see. Can we make it work on the outside? Let's try that first. Before we get too excited and go back and change anything. So that's interesting. The cultivator's working, but the mulcher is not. What's happening here? Let's go to this view and see if we're having any effect whatsoever. Yes, we are showing as cultivated. Interesting. Doesn't tell me anything about the yield. No. Okay, so given that the mulching is not showing any signs that it's doing anything at all, what we're going to do is lift you both up, get out of there. Lose the mulcher. Let's see if we can run down here and do that. We'll at least get one activity . you'll notice that there's a little patch of grass in the middle of the olive grove, where it wouldn't let me plant vines for reasons best known to the map. I meant to get in and have a look. These are absolutely closer than in the correct line. That's better than the last time I did grapes, because I've done many trips between the vines in this tractor and don't remember it being this close. But as you can see, works pretty good. And if we sort out the mulching question, you can absolutely mulch and cultivate on the same pass. It's the first time I've used this particular cultivator. I usually use or have used in the past. Is it a subsoiler? No. Apparently you can use that one. But now I've got to find it. Not under cultivators. Let's have a look at, I didn't see it under grape tech. There's the Ferran stuff. No. Where is the Sigma? There it is. This guy I've used in the past. He works quite well. Also, just the right length at 2.3 meters. Now, let's see. We can get the line right. I reckon I could go down a size in this cultivator and still get the job done without running into that collision. If I had a GPS line set right down the middle of the row of trees, you could just zip through. Being June, we might have another go at planting the trees in that little grass section. See if the map's decided to relinquish its control. But if you've never done olives or grapes, I recommend giving it a try. Once you get the equipment right, and with a little bit of practice driving in a straight line, it's pretty straightforward. They don't require an enormous amount of work. It just adds something different. Once we get this process bedded down, I still plan to put some grapes on the hillside on the other side of the garden centre, so We might get to that next season if we're still going on this map at that stage. You get offline, you get yourself into trouble, like so. Looks like I need just an extra width on the end for our little turning section. Line again. Let's see if we can plant that. Orchards. Why won't it let me? This is the problem I had. Come on. It's giving me a price. It just won't. Pop them in there. Come on. I don't understand. Doesn't matter how many times I click, it won't finish putting them in. Very strange. Can we see something it's colliding with? So there's no obvious collision in the ground there. I can't think of a good reason for it not. Oh, no, we didn't get it. Oh well, I will have to give that some thought as to what's causing that problem. But for now, we'll just continue on and mulch these rows. Sorry, cultivate these rows. But that hasn't taken us very long at all. Be quite interesting to see what sort of crop yield we get off this field. I think it's a reasonable size, and the plan is to buy the oil mill that's just there beside us. And if it works out well, we'll put another stand of, or another set of 7 lines in just beside these, so it'll give us 21. We'll have a look at when we walked on the ground, it said that the fertilization was fine, but have a look at the nitrogen map and just see if that's borne out. I'd certainly recommend, if you want to do these the way Giants intended, do them in a run with precision farming off, because I'm not convinced they work properly with precision farming. So let's have a look. So we've now cultivated that section. We just got an outside strip that needs ploughing, it says. We can do that in a second. Now let's go to here. Our soil type. Well, we could try running that spreader over it. Let's see what happens, I think. Might lease one of those as well. And just see if it distributes any. We've got plenty of manure, I think, so we could just grab a manure spreader and fertilize them with manure. Would probably do fine. Rather than having to buy any specialty, not any liquid fertilizer to run through a sprayer. Good. Get on the line. Still get on the line. Just gotta get that right angle. I'm wandering a little bit. It's another reason to make sure you always run the smoothing tool over the ground before you put the vines in, or the trees. Let's run down the outside here. Oops. Try and stay on the zone. Way up to that one. Lovely. So actually, if we order the spreader, we can send the tractor across to pick it up. Let's do that at the end of the row. By the time it gets here, we will have finished. Muck spreaders. I think we'll just take the farm tech one. The right width for getting between the vine, the rows. So let's lease one of those. Yes. Send you across to pick him up. You can go to vehicle buy sell. That's where we want you to go. Right. Back to the Volt truck. Job's almost done. Ready to go. And ring through it. And then we can get back to our weeding on the cornfield. Let's jump over and get that hooked up. Send you back to the cow pen to fill up with some food. Main yard park will do. Get on the line. Better. Last one. Okay, I like that piece of equipment. That worked quite nicely. Now let's go find out. He should be here any minute. Let's have a look at the map. The fact that I can't see you on the map means I've sent you to the wrong. Oh no, he's right in front of me. Goodness me. Blind as a bat. Let's back you in there. See if we can fill you up with some muck. Let's go spread this and see if it makes any difference. Apart from the maneuverability, this might be just small enough to get between the vines. We'll give it a whirl. Pretty sure it wouldn't have had enough horsepower for the... Yeah, it couldn't have pulled both the bits of equipment. But I haven't actually tried it between the vines, or between the trees, so let's give it a whirl, see what happens. Pretty sure we only need to do every second row. Yeah. Is that going to go through there? Let's lift the scoop up. Yeah, that'll go down there, all right. We're on automatic. Unfold it. Yep, that's still right, and it is applying fertilizer, so that's promising. If I can drive in a straight line, it'll work substantially better. Front loader bucket's probably not the ideal accessory for this task, but that works all right. And a load of manure's going to go a reasonable distance by the looks. I've done that one, so I need to do this one. What are you getting? Oh, that's what you're getting stuck on. So about what we learnt there is half a load will do each batch. Beautiful. Down we go. And what you can see is in a single game day, you can easily get through prepping your olives for the whole season without excessive number of trips between the rows. Done the first two. I need to go down you. Based on this experience, I needed one more row just to balance out the number of up and down trips with the fertilizer, given that I get 2 done in a pass. So we're just going to have that one row on the end there left to do. Would you get off there? Excellent. Whoops, not excellent. Few bumps when we get on the angle. And we ran out of manure. We'll just go and get a little bit more. I wonder if it's giving me the grass. It looks like it's giving me the grass reference rate for the manure rather than olives, which tends to support my assertion that precision farming doesn't understand anything about olives. much here. That will be plenty. Welcome along, whoever's just popped in. Great to have you in with us. There are a few folks lurking in the background, so if you want to say hi, feel free. If you don't want to or can't, that is also fine. Just glad to have you here. Just finishing off fertilizing our new olive grove and trying out a few bits of equipment. That's worked a treat. I'll just do the last row here. And then we shouldn't need to do anything. It's interesting that it still thinks I need to add the amount that it was adding in the other rows, even though there's only one row to do. We'll have a look at what the map says we've done to it in a second. Might as well pop the rest of this on the grass here. Let's yield nitrogen. So, well, it's showing that we fertilized them, so that will do for now. We can yes, I know. My only concern is that I haven't quite got these on a true heading. They might be pretty close, but we'll see. I plan to look at that. But thanks for stopping in. Have a good one. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, Jason. Now let's return this equipment that we will not require until next year. So we want to go there and there and get rid of that and that and that and that. Yeah, olives aren't. I prefer doing grapes, to be honest. I have enjoyed grapes, but we took a little bit of a straw poll here, and people wanted to do olives in preference to grapes first. So that's what we've done, and it's convenient because the oil mill is right there. So that'll. I'm very confident we'll make some money from it. The field that we're just in the process of carving out on the hillside just up in front on the other side of the garden centre is where the grapes are going to go in the long term. So that is the plan. Let's just stop in and have a look at our pigs. How are they doing there? And hit our head on the boom. So 212 of 216. They've got food. Gosh, they're good. They could do with a bit more straw, but we're out of that for the moment. Let's just check the sheep. Oh, I've only done olives once, so that'll be interesting to see. Certainly with precision farm, yeah, so we're still overstocked in here, so and that's now a problem. Because they've dropped in health. Okay, I'm gonna need to figure out how to deal with that. That trailer's too heavy for this tractor, especially if I fill it with livestock. It was just precision farming I felt that messed everything up, because since my preference for the rest of the farming operation is to play with precision farming on, because I like that overall experience, but I was quite disappointed that it appeared when it came out, and early impressions are true here, that they made no allowance for grapes and olives in the design of it, and it's like, why couldn't it be done properly? Okay, let's get some more weeding done. We'll have a good corn crop this year. Any luck, we'll just get this field done. It'd be very annoying them not growing back after all the investment of putting them in. Did you get away at all in your month away from YouTube, Scott? Or were you just working? So this seasonal gig has turned into a every season gig. We're about halfway through this field, I reckon. Maybe, yeah, maybe halfway. This hoe hasn't worked out to be quite as wide as I hoped that it would. Spin it around. Back we go. I like the fact that weeds are easy to see in the corn. Even if I can't drive a straight line, it makes me feel like I'm sort of doing it the way it's intended. Try and keep my wheels in the furrows. looking forward to seeing how much crop we get off those new fields across the road, and whether in fact we can keep the pigs fed for a full year without having to buy food for them. So that's the plan, or at least that's the target point. And we've got a sustainable operation. Feel like doing a different circuit up the side here. Let's do that. Just so that a bit of variety. Nope, got a couple of trees on. We don't want those. Let's burn up. This end of the field looks remarkably weed free. Welcome along whomever has just popped in. Great to have you there. We have a few lurkers in the background doing their various things, but if you want to say hi, feel free. If you've got any questions, just ping out. I'm happy to answer them if I can. You never know, your question might be something that's bothering someone else also. Let's try and get you on the line down there. Making good progress through our weeding. We've already dealt with our olive grove today. So did some cultivating and some fertilizing in there. We have fed the cows. All in all, life is good. If you're new to the channel, it's great to have you along. Thank you for stopping by. Stream 3 times a week. The next one will be on Friday morning my time, given that it's Tuesday currently here in Melbourne, Australia. So same time, but in 3 days from now I will be on the Oaks, where we have a pretty good operation with the Putneys and their 5 children. It's growing quite nicely. Now, why do I think there's no weeds up any of that bit? So I'll just up that line there, I think. Right. Get onto my line. Pop him down. There we go. With that, I think that's where we're going to have to leave it for today, folks. I have some time sensitive activities I've got to get to this morning, so we will finish it up round about here. But thank you very much, everyone, for hopping in and spending some time. It's much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time when we're back on Friday, thanks everyone. Bye for now. See ya.